Hello, friends. Welcome all of you to the 5 minute series. Today, we are going to discuss about some of the important aspects and characteristics features of autism. So, if you have a child with autism, the points that we are going to discuss today is definitely going to help you, uh, you know, um, see things from the child's perspective rather than from the parent's point of view always. So let's get into the session. Point number one, always address the child first and then the diagnosis. So by this I mean, if you have a child with autism, please say I have a child with autism rather than I have an autistic child. So there is a great difference between these two perspectives. So, autism is a part of the child, and autism is not the all of the child. So, this attitude and perspective we will have to carry forward henceforth as parents. So, always address the child first and then the diagnosis. Secondly, child with autism they have senses that are out of sync. So, by this I mean a sound or a light or a sense of a taste or a flavor or a touch which may seem very ordinary to all of us may really be dreadfully painful for the child because the child's senses are hyper acute, they are hypersensitive. So we have to keep these things in mind always. So their senses are out of sync. uh, Point number three, it is not that a child with autism they don't want to listen to you, but they cannot listen to you. So we generally used to say that the child they don't listen. Child with autism don't listen. So the truth or the fact is that it's not that they don't want to listen, but it's just that they cannot listen. So please do not call the child from across rooms. Instead, go over to the child, seek the child's attention, anchor to their shoulders, get down to the child's level, and then talk to the child in a very plain, simple language. So, this is what the child wants. And then, point number four, um, children with autism they are concrete thinkers, they are literal thinkers, and they cannot interpret language. So, for example, it's pouring cats and dogs. This job is, this task is like a cakewalk for you. Or, I'm in cloud nine today. So, all of these idioms or phrases or nuances of languages or metaphors, they don't make sense to children with autism. Just talk to them in a plain, simple language, as like it is raining heavily outside. This job is very easy for you to do. I'm so happy today instead of saying I'm in cloud nine. So, because they are literal thinkers, they cannot think from perspectives. So, point number five. Um, Instead of telling them do this and do that, just show them how to do this or how to do that, because children with autism they are highly visually oriented. They can take visual instructions very easily rather than text or spoken words. So just show them how to do rather than telling them how to do. And then point number six, um, so focus on building their strengths rather than on what they cannot do. Just focused on what they can do, building on what they can do rather than what they cannot do. So precisely identify their strengths and then build on from their strengths. And then point number seven, help them with social interactions. So it is not that a child with autism they don't want to play with other children in a playground, or they don't want to be part of a gathering. It's just that they do not know how to initiate the conversation or join a group of people on a social gathering. So help them initiate the conversation, help other children to come over and invite the child with autism. This is a great way to uh, help the child with autism feel comfortable and then join the social gathering. And then point number 8, um, um, listen to all ways that the child is trying to communicate, uh, because it is very hard for the child with autism to use words to describe their feelings or emotions or what they want. It is very important that we as parents observe various body languages and signs through which they are telling that how they feel, whether they really feel frustrated or withdrawn. So we need to be really looking at their body language rather than expecting them to vocalize their feelings. And then point number 9, um, identify the triggers for the child's meltdown. So, and try to avoid as much as possible. So sometimes when a child is overloaded with all the sensory stimulations, that could be one of the triggers for the child. Or when the child is faced with an uncomfortable situation, that could be one of the triggers for the child's meltdown. So it is the responsibility of the parent to make a note of the trigger, the situation, the setting, or the people that triggers the meltdown for the child. And finally, point number 10, we have to be patient to execute all of the above 9 points, because it is these children, they don't choose autism. Autism um, is not a it's a lifelong condition. So we as parents have to really be patient to uh, you know um, to uh, to execute the all of the above 9 points that have been discussed. So I hope you go through these 10 points again and again, and then see how you can implement these with your children. So thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to leave a comment. Thank you.